for it to download. Bass is a hero with a vision to enhance the world with the power and love of bass sound. And what better way to do that? There we go. Bass loves bass sound. And what better way to do so other than using his trusty dubstep gun? An unconventional weapon? Maybe, but his arch nemesis Treble is highly affected by it, especially her creepy minions. Okay. Controls, spacebar, hover upwards, also jump. Quirr! Quirr! Okay, shoot dubstep waves. Watch for cooldown on the bottom right. So the bottom right hand, okay, so those are the different kind of attacks. Enter, drop the bass, check the bass meter on the top right. Small hint, use R with E for maximum effect. R with E for maximum effect. WebGL version might not work. Yeah, I'm primarily a Unity developer myself, and the WebGL has been absolutely broken. So that's some experience I can totally share. Looks like it's done downloading. Cut that. Let's move it to my generic Ludum Dare location. And here we have a list of a bunch of stuff. Windows 21 April. Gonna like it to drop it. Extract all. Of course, Windows tries to create two folders for some reason. Makes perfect sense. Oh, can you feel the excitement? So I'm gonna make a confession here. I'm not much of a commentator when it comes to actually playing a game. It's hard for me to concentrate on playing and commentating at the same time, which is why we usually have two people commentating. But anyways, I'll do my best. It's all solo from here, just like Compo. Let's go and drop it. I am going to favor on windowing instead of full screening the game, largely because I want to be able to see the chat at the same time. I think 800 by 600 would work. Let's try it. Yeah, works perfectly. So let's pull our headphones on. No music. Alright, that's off to a good start. How to? Bass. This is Bass. He is on the hoverboard. Control his weight with the spacebar or tap. With the spacebar or tap. And hold for gaining more height. Treble minions. Treble is the arch nemesis. Destroy the treble minions with your dubstep gun power. Make them drop. Dubstep power. Tap or use Quirr to use your dubstep power. Remember, each power has a cooldown, so use them wisely. Bass drop. The bass drop bar fills as you hit treble minions and decrease when you don't fill it up, then tap it or enter for okay, so enter for ultimate bass. So Quirr space, I'm getting a sense that it's going to be a bit like Flappy Bird. Credits. Null Studio by Hassan Selim, El Hassan Makled. Art by Amir Kandil. Yeah, the artworks actually looks pretty good. Shadi Magdi, El Hassan Makled. Ooh. So we're gonna watch some programmers art too. Sound design by El Hassan Makled and Ismail El Sanati. Let's check it out. Oh, not responding. Oh my goodness. Oh. Ouch. Oh, okay. Shoot, there we go. Oh my goodness, the music. Excuse me for a minute as I lower the volume there. It's a little too loud on my headphones. There we go. Hi. So I just got a comment saying it, you know, how are we doing? Yeah. Phew, a lot better. Okay, so the background art leaves a lot to be desired, but the character art is really beautiful, actually. Oh, interesting. So far it's been kind of easy. There's a lot of screen tearing going on, but I don't fault that on programming. I'm not a fan of this music, but again, that's taste. Oh, darn it, I had the bass. Okay, so it looks like if you miss, your meter goes down. Wait, I'm confused with that. What does the E do then? Okay, so the Q shoots. E did something. W does that cool thing. The speaker is devastating, that's the Q. R. Oh! Just when I thought I figured it out. So it looks like this is mostly 2D sprites going on, considering the animation of the character there, instead of a 3D model. Oh, no, I'm gonna not skip that. Okay, it's a fairly simple shooter concept. At least you're not dodging something. Or else I would have had some really terrifying Flappy Bird flashbacks.
Drop it.
I don't see how this helps. Yeah, I'm really confused by... So, and Miss Sparium says, I'm really confused by what they're attempting with the music. It feels like the weapon sounds are supposed to build into everything, but it feels really disconnected. Yeah, I'm personally unsure how to read this weapon sound issue either. They implemented a lot of weapons, which is neat. You dropped the beat a bit too hard there, I guess. Says Atmospherium. Darn, I'm still only getting 392. I kind of wish that there was a game over screen to let you know how well you performed. Excuse me. English not working today.
Drop it.
I like the music after the drop it part. Oh, what? too early.
Drop it.
Oh, okay. It just wipes out everyone. That's good. Okay. The recharge rate increases significantly. What? Man. It kind of gets hard once you have the drop it available. Yoink. Fire! Fire, 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 fire. I'm gonna have to somehow turn this stream entertaining. Okay, it doesn't change the background much other than the little particle effects there, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, it ended so quickly. What? Alright, I think I got the basic idea here. My initial impression of, oh, it's kind of like Flappy Bird was fortunately wrong, but it was a lot like Jetpack Joyride in the control scheme where it's trying to stay afloat, and didn't feel nearly as tight in my opinion. When I say tight, I mean like being having the control react sooner and having the feeling like you can dodge things quickly. Especially in Jetpack Joyride, the character Joe, I think is his name, is like really small, so he is very unlikely to get hit, whereas in this game I felt like I was getting hit rather frequently. Typically, a neat trick that a lot of game developers do is they actually make the collider box around the character to be a lot smaller than the graphics imply it to be, so that any sort of like, ooh, that was a close one, they have the sort of an impression that, you know, bullets kind of miss them at a very close spot. So you have these really cool moments when you shrink those kind of things. It helps with the expectations of what the player is. So anyways, gameplay wise, like I kind of see, I don't think there's a flaw in the game mechanic per se. The cooldown is balanced enough that I always felt like I had some way to come back and attack with, so that's a good thing. But at the same time, because of the implementation is so stale, you have some effect of particles and juice going on. Juice is a term we like to use for any sort of event feedback that makes us feel more gratifying. But anyways, there were a few juice going on, such as the particle effects, the shooting, and so forth. But when you hit the enemy, there wasn't much satisfaction coming from it. So, like a common technique I personally like to use is to slightly pause the time, flash the screen white for like a brief moment, and shake the camera ever so slightly to kind of make you register that, oh wow, that was a really powerful attack. So for me, the two things that were mainly missing that kind of kept me from being satisfied with this game was the amount of juice there was, the somewhat fairness of how fair I thought the game was, and lastly, the amount of juice that there was. I already mentioned juice, right? I also thought that the controls wasn't quite tight enough. I kind of wanted those so that the character falls sooner, and when you're pressing the space button, that they fly up higher as a consequence. You know, tighter controls I think is kind of important. But it sounds like this was, at least for your team, what especially is. Given the team names, I'm suspecting that this is a set of non-US citizen people working on this. either that or some specific ethnic group, and that's always. I'm actually really happy to see that. You know, we can always use a lot more games from different sorts of different cultures, different places in the world, and really get a lot of different perspectives on things. So I believe that this was a very good start on making games. You definitely have a solid game mechanic. At the very least, I don't see any particular flaws with it. It's just a matter of polishing right after that that needs to be worked on. But yeah, good job. Cool. Let's go with the ranking or ratings here. I consider it pretty low on the innovation side of things. Yeah, pretty low, but that's all right. That doesn't necessarily have to mean it has to be a solid game. I personally thought it was average on the fun side. Again, I mentioned the 3 elements that I thought was kind of missing with the game. So I think a lot of improvements can be done there. The theme, the unconventional weapon, come on, as much as giving it a name doesn't make it an unconventional weapon for me. When I hear unconventional weapon, I expect something that I wouldn't either expect to be a weapon, or the way that's being used is unconventional. One of the two. The graphics was pretty good actually. I'm notching down a star because there was a certain lack of consistency to it. I suspect there's a whole time-related issue, and you seem to have a fairly large team for what would be reasonable. What I would consider would be pretty reasonable and efficient on Ludum Dare. So, regardless, at least you got all the graphics in there. But like I said, I felt like there was a certain sense of inconsistency going on. Humor, meh. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't go for audio. Was this a jam entry? Okay, that may plausibly be the reason why. The mood, actually, you know, the mood is sort of in the average end of things, but it was there, and I was experiencing some specific emotion playing this. Overall, I consider this a fairly average entry. I can almost tell that it's, you know, a very beginner set of people that was trying to work on it, but that necessarily isn't a bad thing. I felt like there was a lot more that can be improved on the game, but the foundation that you're working off of is, I think, absolutely solid, absolutely doable, workable, and you know, it was just small incremental steps that was necessary to build on top of that game. So yeah. I felt the game needed some extra polish, particularly on juice for feed back on shooting enemies, on hitting enemies. Tighter controls, fall faster, rise faster. Immediate reaction. So if you press space, I expect you to move up instantaneously instead of, you know, having it drop a little bit then moving up a little bit by using a physics system. And juice for feedback on hitting enemies, tighter controls, and there was one last thing. Oh, small adjustments on collider boxes. I think hitboxes tends to be the more well-known one. Hitboxes, particularly Bass in particular, felt like it was really large. I think the foundation that the game is based on, the game mechanic, is alright. It's just a matter of polish from there. Yep, those were my opinions on that. Alright.